I watched with interest the tabloids targeting her over months. And I never have an interest in the royal stories, but it was racist, it was sexist, it was divisive. And if I were her, I'd be gone.
OK. Dan would disagree.
Well, I would just say, anytime anyone says this, because, again, this is really dangerous rhetoric, so, Ricky, you've made that claim, can you provide one example of racist coverage of Meghan?
Well, I'd have to go back to the news coverage, but
Well, you've just made
I'll
a claim
give you
like that.
two that are quoted. One of them, obviously, is the Danny Baker tweet with the chimp in it.
That's nothing to do with the media.
No.
And he
Well,
said
the other one was
he knew nothing about it.
Here's what I think.
A Daily Mail headline which said something like "Straight Outta Compton," which is a rap record. So there's that flavour to it. But you're right to challenge Ricky, because actually it's more tone, isn't it? Is that right?
It was tone, and also the fact was they were picking up on stories that would have been about any princess, about anyone running the royal family, things that could never be proven. The staff weren't happy. People didn't like her. Now, well, you're asking about proof. How do you prove that stuff?
Well, Ricky, you're talking rubbish, because I was the person that broke the story of Megxit.
That doesn't prove it.
I had so much hope that Meghan was going to be this great modernising force within the royal family, was going to be the woman that finished the work that Princess Diana started. When the coverage turned... Well, I'll tell you. When the coverage turned was when Harry and Meghan, who are meant to be non-political members of the royal family, started making very political comments, including, for example, criticising us, the great British public, for our carbon footprint, while taking 4 private jet flights in 11 days. They could have done so much. Instead, what have they gone to do? They've gone to America to chase the big money, flying on private jets, getting $1 million an appearance to go and speak to JP Morgan Chase. I do feel let down. I feel sad. I want them to stay.
I think Harry's got enough money. I don't think it was about that. And I think
why take $1 million from JP Morgan Chase to go and give a speech to a bunch of bankers in Miami then, Gemma?
I'm a bit like you. I'm not like a massive royalist or anything, but I really like Harry, and I from what I've seen of Meghan, she seems to be amazing.
So
and I think there's a lot of misogyny wrapped up in this as well, because she's a bit different. She's refreshing. She's outspoken. She tries to take on certain issues, and the people are like, know your place, that's not for you. Whereas I thought she was very refreshing, and it's sad. And we've got Prince Andrew still. That's rubbish.
Welcome back, squad. Once again, the media is in a frenzy, desperately trying to control the narrative about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But here's the thing, they can't handle the truth. No matter how hard they try to distort reality, Harry and Meghan continue to rise above the noise, building their legacy and proving that they are an unstoppable force. The British press loves to act as if they're the ultimate authority on all things royal. Their hypocrisy is on full display, and we are here to call it out. From unfair criticisms to blatant double standards, the media's obsession with tearing down the Sussexes has reached new heights of absurdity. Let's break it all down and expose the drama. If you're ready to stand in the truth, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive right in. First things first, Harry and Meghan are winning, and that fact alone is sending the British media into a tailspin. Their groundbreaking deals with Netflix, Spotify, and their impactful work through the Archewell Foundation continue to receive global praise. Yet, instead of acknowledging their influence and achievements, the press pushes a tired narrative of failure and irrelevance. It's laughable at this point. The truth is, Harry and Meghan have built something incredible outside of the royal institution, proving that they don't need the monarchy to be powerful. Their independence is a threat to the outdated system, and that's exactly why the press is scrambling to discredit them. The louder they scream failure, the more it becomes obvious that the Sussexes are a success story they simply can't ignore. Let's talk about the media's selective outrage, because the double standards are out of control. Meghan so much as touches her baby bump, and suddenly it's a global controversy. Meanwhile, the royal family can be caught up in real scandals, and the press magically forgets how to report on them. Take Prince Andrew, for example. His situation is 1,000 times more scandalous than anything Harry and Meghan have ever done, yet the media barely covers it. Instead, they'd rather focus on Meghan closing her own car door, because apparently that's the real scandal of the century. It's absurd, and people are finally waking up to the hypocrisy. Every time Meghan shines, suddenly there's a wave of glowing headlines about Kate Middleton's elegance and grace. The timing is too convenient to be a coincidence. The royal family's PR machine is working overtime to push the idea that Kate is the ideal royal. Despite the media's best efforts, the world is catching on. Social media has become a powerful tool for calling out the hypocrisy, and people are no longer blindly accepting the headlines. The Sussex squad and supporters worldwide are documenting the double standards in real time, making it impossible for the press to rewrite history. If Harry and Meghan were truly irrelevant, why do they continue to dominate headlines? The answer is simple: they are the story. The media needs them to stay relevant, even as they try to diminish their success. But the more they try to tear the Sussexes down, the more they expose their own biases. It's no secret that Meghan has been the British press's favourite scapegoat from the moment she entered the royal fold. Every minor decision she makes is scrutinised beyond reason, while others in the royal family are given a free pass for far worse. Whether it's her fashion choices, her work ethic, or even the way she interacts with her own children, the media is always ready to paint her in the worst possible light. The real question is, why? Meghan represents everything the royal institution fears: a woman of colour, independent, successful on her own terms, and unapologetically vocal about her experiences. That level of confidence and self-assurance disrupts the traditional monarchy narrative, and for the press, she's the perfect target to distract from the royal family's own shortcomings. Prince Harry has undergone one of the most powerful transformations in modern royal history. Once known as the party prince, the media underestimated him, assuming he would remain under the shadow of the monarchy forever, but they never expected him to step up and become a leader in his own right. From his military service to his advocacy for mental health, veterans, and global humanitarian efforts, Harry has shattered every expectation placed upon him. His journey proves that he was never just a spare. He was always meant for something greater. And now, as a husband and father, he continues to redefine what it means to be royal in the modern world, without needing a palace or a title to validate his worth. Why is the British press so obsessed with Harry and Meghan? The answer is simple: their names sell. The tabloids thrive on controversy, and they know that any headline about Meghan, whether true or fabricated, will drive clicks, engagement, and profit. It's a calculated strategy. The more they stir up negativity, the more outrage they generate, leading to more ad revenue and newspaper sales. This isn't journalism, it's a business model built on fueling division and hate. And despite their claims of wanting the Sussexes to go away, they continue to prove that they can't afford to stop talking about them. One of the most troubling aspects of the media's treatment of Harry and Meghan is the silence from the royal family. Time and time again, the institution has had opportunities to condemn the racist and sexist attacks on Meghan, yet they've chosen to stay quiet. This silence speaks volumes. The royal family's refusal to defend Meghan isn't just negligence, it's an endorsement. It signals to the press that these attacks are acceptable and even encouraged. Meanwhile, when other royals face scrutiny, immediate statements of support are issued. The double standards aren't just from the media, they come straight from the palace itself. No matter what the media throws at them, one thing remains clear: Harry and Meghan will always rise above. Their work is bigger than the headlines. Their impact is felt on a global scale, from their humanitarian projects to their influence in media and entertainment. The reason they continue to thrive is simple: they are authentic. They live their truth, and that's something no smear campaign can ever take away. The public is seeing through the lies, and history will remember them not for the hate thrown at them, but for the change they inspired. Harry and Meghan are thriving despite the media's relentless smear campaign. The royal family's double standards are more obvious than ever, and people are waking up to the truth. The press can spin their narratives all they want, but they can't change the facts. The Sussexes are winning, and no amount of negative press can take that away. What do you think? Are the media's tricks finally losing their power? Let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that super thanks button to support the channel. We will continue to call out the nonsense and uplift the truth. Until next time, stay royal, stay resilient, and stay Sussex strong.